Hi, so I'm installing some Elastilon here. I have never done any kind of wooden flooring before. Done some tile, but never anything like this. So I live on the third floor of a condo where we have a low-density concrete subfloor, gypcrete, and I have 3/4 inch red oak hardwood that was reclaimed from a friend's house. There's a bunch of work on getting it ready to go, but looking online, trying to figure it out, there is no way to install solid hardwood on top of low-density concrete. Normally you'd nail this, can't nail on the concrete, or you'd glue this, and gypcrete can't support glue, it'll just fall apart. Took a lot of looking until I found Elastilon. This product is really popular in Europe and Asia and all over the world basically, except for the United States. But I was able to contact the guy who's the distributor in this country to get my hands on some to be able to try this. So this basically turns a solid wood floor into a floating floor. Look at what we've got here. It's a fairly small room. We've already sealed the top surface of the gypcrete and leveled it, which was a real pain in the butt, but eventually it's all within tolerance, which is 1 to 3 millimeters over the 10-foot length. We then put a 6 mil poly down to prevent water seepage. I'm on the third floor, so it's probably not a problem at all, but there's enough leaks around here just to be on the extra safe side. If we were at or below grade, we'd have to do that. And now I laid out my Elastilon. And as you see, I'm at an angle in this room because I'm always doing things the hard way. And I thought it would look a little bit nicer to put the boards in matching the angle of this entranceway between the dining room and the living room. So boards are going to be going down like this, so the Elastilon gets laid perpendicular. Now you notice the far corner, I cut the Elastilon to match the edge, but on this side, I've got a whole lot of extra material. About 3 rows of boards worth plus another foot, because I'm going to cut out the actual foamy bottom Elastilon part and leave only the top surface right up until the edge here. This gives me a handle to pull the stuff back with. I have a little bit more wastage here than most people would because of the diagonal. I've got 2 walls that I need to have this on. If I was going straight, there would only be 1 wall. And if you do this in multiple rooms or do it multiple times, you can actually keep this top coat and you won't need any of this extra material. You'll just be able to reuse the top coat from the previous time. And I'll save you a lot. So let's take some pictures as we get into this project. Next one's going to be after we remove the extra material and just have this flat. Thanks. So we cut off the extra Elastilon in order to give us this top layer that we can pull with. When we apply boards, could you hand me that one please? We are going to lay them down like this on top of this top sheet that's pulled back. So when we're ready, we pull the material back, expose the adhesive on the Elastilon underneath, and it'll adhere to the boards. That'll give us plenty of time to position the boards just how we want them without them sticking to anything. You can see I've got a flat on all the starter sides and don't need one on the back side. It seems to be pulling up there. That's because there's nothing holding the Elastilon down. Again, this isn't a floating floor. So this was on a roll, so it's still a little curly. But that's to the right side. Good. One thing I did screw up a little bit though, you'll notice the 6 mil poly coming off the wall. It's a good idea to have that hidden behind your trim and edging. Keeps almost like a little waterproof container of the floor. Anything comes in from the lower sidewalls. Unfortunately, I cut the Elastilon using the edge, so I kind of cut into that. So there's 6 mil poly on the floor, but that top edge isn't connected there anymore. Not too helpful. So now we're getting ready to do the floor. Unfortunately, I'm only going to have video for things that only require 1 person to do because I have a second person who's my videographer and my hands. It took a second person to help hold the Elastilon while I was cutting off the backer. Very sticky stuff. So now we are getting ready to do the floor. We're going to get a couple pieces, get the first 3 layers cut and fit into position before we start adhering them. And since I'm matching the angle of this entrance, it isn't even 45. So there's going to be a lot of custom cuts to get everything right. It's a really nice thing with Elastilon versus say gluing something in. We're not time limited. We're adhering it down like it's glue, but we don't have a limited time where the glue's ready to stick. So we can take all the time we want. We could have this span a couple of days if we wanted, getting the boards just right and fitting them in. Now, time to get to work. Got the first 3 rows laid in, and it's a lot later because I did not like how the one edge on the narrow boards were routed. So we went back and rerouted again, which is a nice benefit of this product. You can take as long as you want to get the project done. And as an amateur, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm taking a long time to do it. So, got these first 3 rows in place. This is the most difficult setup because this is when we first adhere it to the Elastilon. What we're going to end up doing is taking this, and while holding this in place, not standing on it because that puts too much pressure on, pulling this back will pull the top sheeting off of the adhesive material and allow the boards to stick to what's underneath. Now I have to make sure everything is very tight and close. You'll notice it's not perfect right now. These are recovered boards from a pre-existing floor, so accepting they're not going to be perfect. So I get my helper to help me with this right now. We'll actually do the first batch. So what I would like you to do is to come over here. We're good right and left. We've got about 3/8 inch spacers on the sides. Since it's a fairly small hardwood floor, I've heard 3/8 is the right gap. If it was a bigger floor, we might need a full 3/4. So if you could hold this, I'm going to want pressure pushing in on here, but not too much down, mostly in. That'll give us exactly where we want everything to land. You got that? It's a little too much down because I can't pull, but there we go. As I pull this back, it exposes the Elastilon, sticks to the board, and that's great. So, how do I know? Ooh, watch that. You gotta be careful here. And we're developing a gap there. Before that piece sticks on, there we go. That's good. So, I know I've gone far enough when I see a red line. I drew a red line on this material just 1 inch from the edge here. So as soon as the red line becomes visible, I know I've got enough and I can stop. Well, I'm just going to do that with the rest of this row, and we're going to have the hardest part of the floor done. Thanks. Floor in, a little over halfway now. I just put in the next row, test fitted, had to cut the ends, fit them around the doorways and everything. So now that I've got an idea of what I'm doing here, it actually goes pretty quick. I've got the boards in place, I tapped it in, hold, and pull. And that's good. Go up to this next board. I do each one with a couple taps right on it before I pull. That's done. And you can see I put little marker marks where I know they need to go. So when the marker that was up here gets pulled all the way down to the next one, I know it's good. You can see right here, I've got a red marker right near the end, and when it gets down to here, I've gone far enough. Tap this guy in, nice and snug. I've already snugged up the entire row to know it fits right, but right before doing each one, I do it again. There we go. So it goes pretty damn quick and easy. I spend way more time sizing and cutting and shaping the boards for each row than I do for the actual install here. All right, give me that out. So we are putting in the last piece, got down to the very edge. The Elastilon has been the easiest part about this. Putting things at an angle has made all the cuts more difficult. Using reclaimed wood has made everything more difficult to line up properly, so that's so much more fun. It took a couple of days to get everything in with a fairly relaxed time of putting on. But adding the wood, once it's cut, is as simple as that. Evened up on both sides, and it's done. For that part, I'm pretty damn happy. Thanks.